How you guys doing today? It's Michael Ligori with Cathedral Stone Products. Today we're going to be doing a demo video on granite. We have 4 standard colors for our granite Yan M160 patching mortar, and we get a lot of calls on what is the best way to go about matching a multicolored surface just as this is. As you can see, the 4 standard colors don't quite match. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to use a neutral, which is white mortar, and then we're going to use our potassium silicate with a series of colors to match this multicolored appearance. So a couple things you're going to need when doing this. We have this limestone here, and we're going to do our mock-up initially on this, and then take that same kind of chemistry and formula and put it onto the actual mock-up, which will be on the building. So another thing I like to have is a little blue tape. This keeps your edges and lines really precise. And what I also have done is we have a rubber sponge, and I've just cut it into little sections, little pieces that I can use to apply the coating. One reason we like to use these is they don't leave any streaks, and you can really keep it looking nice and tight. So the first thing I'm going to use is a gray. And I'm going to apply this with these sponges that I've cut. We're just going to put this on evenly onto this gray slab here. And this happens to be a limestone slab, but it really just has to be any sort of masonry unit. The coating is opaque enough to cover the existing stone color. Okay, now that we've laid our base color down, it's ideal to let this sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, just letting the paint kind of firm up and harden. Okay, now that we have our base gray color down, I'm going to implement some black speckles. So we're going to take some black potassium silicate, we're going to dip our sponge in. Another thing you're going to want to have on site is a rag. And you're just going to take some of the heavy black out. Put that down, and now we're going to start our black. Again, just trying to create a uniform appearance here with this. Don't forget to hit some of the heavy stuff off on your rag and get right back into it. One thing you want to be mindful of and try your best to do with these sort of mock-ups is limit the amount of colors you're adding. The last thing you want to have is 12 different colors that you have to replicate, because then it starts to get complicated. If you can limit it to 2 to 3 colors, in this case we're using 3, you're going to have a lot more success that way. Okay, reference this. Now that we've added some black, we're going to go ahead and add white pretty much immediately to turn some of those heavy dark black areas and slightly gray them out a little bit. And it is important to note this is not just a pure white that I'm using. It's somewhat of an off-white, but it's pretty light. And it's the same idea. We're putting it on the sponge and we're taking a little bit off on the rag. I'm going to add a little more white. And what you want to do is you want to compare it and see if you're happy. The best thing to do is place it there and stand about 20 feet away. Look at it from a distance. That's going to really tell you if you need to add more black or add more white or even add more gray possibly. In this case, I'm looking at it. It seems like we're getting close, but I still feel it needs a little more of the lighter color. So I'm going to go ahead and add that now. Another reason why I like these sponges is the cells kind of give you a little bit of a texture appearance. Really hides the fact that this is a flat, solid stone. Getting pretty close. Still see a couple dark areas I want to get out. And again, this is not actually on the wall, so I can always make slight adjustments when I go live on the patch. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this. It's pretty close. At least it looks like it from up close. I'm now going to go live on here, and I will make any adjustments that I feel it needs. So we're going to tape off the edges. You can do it without the tape, but in this case, I want to make sure I'm not getting any potassium silicate on the stone. Okay. Now we're going to start off again with the gray, and I'm going to use the same sponge, make sure that it's still wet enough, and we're going to lay our base coat. And you can see on a white background, it really goes on nice. One other thing I should mention as I'm applying this coating is you don't have to order 100 different colors. We have a sample puck box with all of our standard and premium colors. These are all readily available and ready to go out the door. And if you want actual samples, we also sell a stain kit. There's a couple different types, but they will come with a lot of the base colors that you're going to need to do something like this. And if we don't have a color in the stain kit, you can always request that color in addition. Please check out the links below. Okay, now that we've let this first coat dry for about 3 to 4 minutes, you can tell it's not shiny anymore, so it's now ready for that second application. So we're going to come in with our black and our sponge again. And we're going to come in here like this. Add a little more black. Take some out. We got this rag that we're taking out some of the heavy black. And now we can go ahead and add some more. Don't be afraid if you do get a big black spot, if maybe it's a little more than you want, because you can always fade that out with some other colors. Okay, now that we've added our black, I am now going to come in with our third color, which is again that off-white. Let this sit for a minute. Now I'm going to add a little more black to this because I'm seeing that it needs a little darker in it. Once you think you like it and it's starting to look to the desired color, it's never a bad idea. In fact, it's really important. You step back and take a look at it from a distance. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. What could we do? I think it still needs that last bit of white, the light color, to just kind of make a little more of those white elements pop. But there's a good amount. Okay. Okay, now that I've stepped back from the actual granite patch, I'm going to now add a little bit more of white because I think it needs a little pop. So again, if you go too heavy, you can always take a little bit off by taking the side that doesn't have any paint and just dabbing it on top of those heavy areas. And again, take a step back. So I noticed there was 2 light spots there that I wasn't exactly happy with. So I'm again going to come in with the black just to neutralize that just a little bit. Put that down and take maybe one more dab of the lighter color. Pretty happy with that. How do you feel about it? Okay. Okay, now the last step, when you think you like it, is to remove the tape, and hopefully this patch looks a lot closer of a match than it did previously. So once again, we're going to step back. I noticed one thing that I can improve is adding a little more light color around the edge, just because that looked a little on the dark side for me. So again, coming in with the sponge. It is okay to get a little potassium silicate on the adjacent stone because that will help hide the seam. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I mean, get out there, get on site, do your own matching, and don't be intimidated by some of the multicolored natures of these stones. I'm here to help. My email is tech@cathedralstone.com. We have links at the bottom here for all the products that we use today. And until next time, have a good one.